Hey guys, and welcome. This is episode 11 of my Out of the Park Baseball 21 series with the expansion DuPage Pistol Shrimp. You can see it is June 1st, just before the draft. We are 40 and 21, sitting comfortably in first place, 4 games clean or clear, I guess, of the Minnesota Twins, 6 games ahead of the Chicago White Sox. It's been a good season, pretty much across the board. Last few weeks have been a bit of a struggle. We were actually 34 and 11 at one point, so 6 and 10 in our last 16 games. But you can see 22 and 6 in April. So just absolutely crushing it early on in the season. Take a look at some of our team stats really quickly and then jump over to the draft. So, Alec Thomas, I just dropped my phone charger. Alec Thomas has done exactly what we've asked him to do since coming over from Arizona in the offseason. 330, 393, 461. Power's not there, but said that's what we were going to get with Thomas versus Alex Verdugo. But I'll take it. 2.3 WAR so far. Daz Cameron has been fantastic for us, putting up an 841 OPS, 8 home runs, 26 runs knocked in as well. We are without Darian Perez for about a week and a half. He hurt his shoulder, but he was having a monster season at the top of the lineup. 333, 445, 93 batting leadoff for us. So he'll be back in about a week and a half. Gian Q continues to have a solid season, even though his numbers are continuing to drop. It's a little concerning, but 10 home runs, 27 RBIs, almost an 800 OPS, still stealing a ton of bases, good for 1.7 WAR. Lewin Diaz, crushing the ball, 18 home runs, 56 knocked in, on pace for almost 50 home runs and 150 runs knocked in so far in the season. JD Martinez has been really, really solid as our DH, posting a 931 OPS, playing exclusively as a DH. I don't think he's played in the field yet. Nope, hasn't played in the field yet. Has been really, really good as a designated hitter for us, so very good value in that signing. Noel V. Marte getting it done with the glove. Gray Kessinger. Actually, Marte was hurt for a while, so Marte and Kessinger have been sharing time at shortstop, and Kessinger's actually outperforming him right now with the bat. I mean, 289, 400, 422. So they're both doing really well. And then you got everybody else. Ali Sanchez, Bo Naylor struggling a little bit offensively, at least with his average. Freudis Nova, same deal, struggling a little bit. With his average and on base. Power's there, which is something we hadn't really seen from him previously, but struggling elsewhere. So third base is still a position I'm looking to upgrade. Tiso Ornelas has been hurt for most of the season, so he's just back now. Pitching wise, things look really, really nice for us. Emilio Vargas has been everything we could have hoped for since getting him from Arizona. He's 8-1 with a 1.82 ERA, 310 FIP. So he's still pitching. He's not pitching that well, but he's pitching pretty well. Sean Cervantes was he was hurt at the beginning of the season, but he's come on strong as a starter for us. 4-1 in 6 starts, 2.20 ERA. Haifeng Yap has been basically untouchable. 18 hits in 20 innings, only giving up 1 run in 20 innings, 26 Ks and 5 walks, 0.45 ERA. I mean, the top, our bullpen has been outstanding. Yap, Conine, Wentz, and Kozowski and Carter Stewart have all been just lights out. You look at some of these numbers, look at some of these FIPS, 142, 217, 174. All been very, very good. Carter Stewart has been a revelation since getting him. We talked a little bit about him last episode, signing him from the Australian Baseball League, and he's been great. I mean, look at that, 33 strikeouts to 4 walks. He's been amazing, so no complaints there. Rest of the rotation has been okay. Braxton Garrett, Lucchesi, Baz, and Henkes have all been, on and off at times. So no real complaints, though. can't complain with a 40 and 21 mark. Yeah. So we are going to go ahead to the first year player draft. We are choosing, where are we picking? 32nd, and then we actually have a supplemental pick as well. So we have the 32nd pick and the, what is that? The 2, 6, 7, 8, the 40th pick. So the 32nd pick and the 40th pick, they think we're going to take Mike Rumsberg, which is unlikely, and Vince Easterwood. Not terrible. So we will see what's going to happen there. So let's jump ahead to the first year player draft. All right. So it is time for the first year draft. So let's go ahead and jump in. Let's auto draft until our next pick. Wow. I feel like this is the pick. I mean, let's just look and see if we're completely blind here, but I think we should take. Yeah, I mean, why would I take him when he is just such a better hitter? I mean, I think Hector Flores is the pick, and he becomes a two-way player automatically. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. Yep. All right, so now who does it think we should take? Justin Quintana, center fielder. Oh, he's really bad. I mean, here's another one. Good with the bat. Oops, I suppose I should look at everybody, huh? Yeah, I mean, it looks like our offensive options this year are not very good. I feel like taking the chances on those pitchers is the way to go this year. This might be the way to go. Mark Neusbauer. The News. Is he going to be there with the next pick? I think we might take the chance. That he's going to be there with the next pick and go with the News here in this pick. Where is he? Yeah, I think he's pretty solid. I don't generally like taking first baseman this early on, but let's see if he's still here. Yeah, he was. I'm just looking to see if. All right, so Joel Voorhees. The younger brother of Jason, clearly. Danny Hurt. Nope. Hurt. Nope. Roman Del Rio. Yeah, he's got some power. After the 18-year-old Del Rio. Best eye remain. Nobody. And that's where we are. There are just so many of this type of hitter. It's a little weird. The high contact, high gap, no power, no eye, really high K potential. There's a lot of those players that float around. Not really sure why. Here's another one. I wonder if that's out of the park's way of saying that the power just takes time to develop, and maybe there will be some power down the road. It's just a whole lot of garbage. It's 4 million. No, you can go to college. That's fine. Join North Carolina. Just not much left. All right, I really don't care. Let's see. Is there anybody here? Mike Hamburger. I mean, that movement is obviously a huge concern, but he's got good stuff, good control, and 3 great pitches. Sure, Mike Hamburger. Why not? He wants 3.2 million. Nope, never mind. All right, we're just gonna go ahead and complete the draft. I'm good with my first couple picks. The question is, do we make them outfielders who are also pitchers, or do we leave them as pitchers who are also outfielders? I think. Let's take a look at him real quick. So Hector Flores is a 2-star pitcher, but you have to think that if you make him a hitter, he's going to become, he's a good outfielder as well, good right fielder as well. So you have to think he becomes 3.5-star. We'll see. Then Voorhees is a 2-star, same deal. Might make him a center fielder. Well, he doesn't have great range, but he's got a good arm, so he's probably a corner outfielder. All right, well, let's just see what happens when they sign. So I am going to skip ahead here. I guess we're going to skip ahead to the trade deadline. And yeah, or maybe we'll skip ahead to July. Maybe we'll skip ahead to the international draft and see what's available there, just to add another section in here. I'm happy with these videos being at 20 to 30 minutes. So skip ahead to July 1st, see where we stand, and go from there. So we'll be back shortly. All right, guys, we are back. It is international free agency, but before we get to that, I want to show you we have landed a big old fat fish on the trade market. The Cleveland Indians are in rebuild mode, and because of that, they had somebody up on the trade block that I was not expecting, and we made a move, and I'm hoping that this one pushes us over the top. We have sent Tiso Ornelas and a couple of minor leaguers to the Cleveland Indians, getting 30-year-old pitcher Shane Bieber, and they are going to retain 30% of Bieber's contract. Let's look at what we gave up first, and then I'll show you Shane Bieber. So obviously the main give up here is Terso Ornelas. I just don't think he was ever going to get enough playing time to really bring full value to us. He was blocked at all 3 outfield positions by our young, solid outfield, Perez, Thomas, and Cameron. We also have Jason Dominguez in the minor leagues coming up, Rob Ray. So I just felt like this was the right time to move him. The other 2 guys we gave up were just a couple of 1.5, 2-star type players to to convince Cleveland to eat a little bit of his contract because Bieber's contract is pretty substantial, which you'll see in a minute. But when you look at this version of Shane Bieber, you will see why we made this deal. Here is Shane Bieber, 30-year-old Shane Bieber, 65 stuff, 59 movement, 89 control, 4 elite pitches. He was 21-4 back in 2021, 17-5 in 2022. He was only 8-8 in 2023, missed most of 2024 with injuries and has bounced back this year. Currently leads the American League in ERA. So his contract, pretty substantial, $27.4 million. So the Indians are eating, I think it's about 8 million of it. Let me look. Yeah, they're eating about 8 million, so we're going to be paying Bieber about $19 million a year. That is going to cause a bit of an issue coming up next season, but that's a problem for next season. You can see we have no money for extensions. Still have some money for free agents, but we're not going to spend any of it. So we will have to try to find a way to not necessarily cut, but just be smart with it. Like Brian Garcia, we'll shave about $2 million there. We'll probably shave Freudis Nova off the books, as well as we have. We made another deal, and this one was minor, under the radar, but I think in the end it'll be a pretty effective deal for us. Go to June. Is it May? When did we make this deal? April? Yeah, right here. We traded Po Jung Wang to the Philadelphia Phillies, getting a third base prospect, Caden Wallace. You can see Wallace is pretty much already better than our current third baseman. Why is his name escaping me? He's been on our team since the beginning. Freudis Nova, thank you. You can see he's already better than Nova pretty much across the board, and he can pitch. He's started 6 games for us in AAA while hitting .239. So he will be our third baseman of the future. So we'll be able to shave a little bit of money off of our books next year. We might have a decision to make with our catching situation, as Ali Sanchez is going to be looking for just about $3 million, while Naylor is going to be upwards of $5.5 million. So we will have some decisions to make, but I think this was the right time to make this deal. And if Gian Q opts out of his contract, we may be able to bring him back cheaper. I don't know that he's going to, but if he does, and he's only got 1 year left after this year, so even with that, we might be able to save a little bit of money there. So we just got to be smart about it, and I think we'll be okay. So yeah, it's a big deal for us. You can see, things are still looking really good. Sean Cervantes has just been great as a rookie. Emilio Vargas has been fantastic. Darian Perez is back and continues to rake. Really up and down the lineup, things are going well. Lewin Diaz's average has dropped a little, but he's still on pace for 40 home runs and 120 RBIs. I'll take it. So yeah, everybody's doing pretty well right now. We have a 5-game lead on Minnesota. Let's look at the international free agents. So a couple of pitchers. Vargas. Reno. And then Elias Rodon. Okay. So it's going to be between these two pitchers. So Moreno's a lefty. 6'4", 185. So let's compare them. All right. Pitching ratings. Yeah, I don't like the way they do this. This doesn't help me. This doesn't help. All right, so let's back out. So he's got 5 pitches. Lefty, 16 years old. .91 to 93 right now. And Vargas is 17. I think we go with the lefty. Like the 5 pitches. 98 stamina, though. He could be a real workhorse. Solid 3 or better. But yeah, I mean, our scout likes Vargas better. I think that's probably. Yeah, because his scouting ratings are high, which means he's probably not going to be much better than this. Whereas Vargas is average, and their average is significantly better. I think we go with Vargas. Off from 5 and call it a day. All right, so that is international free agents and our first real deal. I'm going to sim ahead to the trade deadline. Hopefully, we might. I don't really know where we need help. I mean, our bullpen is phenomenal. Our offense has done really well. Again, maybe an upgrade, a stopgap upgrade at third base, so I don't have to call up Wallace this year. But we'll see what's available. So hang tight, and when we come back, it'll be July 31st. All right, it is the trade deadline. We haven't made any moves as of right now. There are some interesting players on the trade block, though. And we're starting to add a little bit of money to our extensions, which is good, which means we can add a little bit of money this year if we want to. So let's take a look at the team. So Frodis Nova got hurt. So that 4-star hand, and we called up Caden Wallace, and he's been really, really good. In 6 games, he's 8 of 24 with 5 extra base hits, a couple of home runs. So yeah, I mean, he may Wally Pip Freudis Nova here, and we can use Nova in a trade chip. So I would say the back of the rotation. Bieber came on, and he's pitched pretty well in his last few starts. He struggled initially after coming over, but his last 3 starts, he's been really, really good. 2 runs in each of his last 3 games while going 7 in all 3. Vargas and Cervantes have been solid. So my top 3 is as good as anybody in baseball. But Garrett and Baz have been very up and down this year. So do we try to... We try to do something with our pitching staff. There were a couple of really solid pitchers out there, and neither of them look like they were going to cost all that much. Yeah, I mean, some of these guys, like Joey Wentz as a reliever is really, really good. He's not great as a starter, but as a reliever, he's solid. Maybe the move is Josiah Gray. That movement's never going to be great, so he's always going to have the potential of giving up some home runs. So let me show you who's available. So if we just look at starters, you've got Anthony Kay, Lance McCullers Jr., and Eduardo Rodriguez as the top 3. Anthony Kay is still technically under arbitration. I mean, I feel like going after Anthony Kay is a no-brainer move here. Eduardo Rodriguez is a free agent. He might be a little bit better, but he's a free agent. Lance McCullers, not quite as good. I think Kay is the move if we were going to do it. And if you look... I mean, there are some options here. I mean, what happens if we do... It's close to being fair. Yeah, I mean, that closes the deal for Anthony Kay. Gray is going to be arbitration eligible. What's he due to make? Probably not much. $1 million, maybe? Yeah, 1.1. So if we move him, we move Nova, Garcia as well. I'm trying to think ahead here because I don't want to be with no money at all going into next year. I want to make sure that we have some money in order to make some moves if we need to. Ali Sanchez has dropped to 1.7. So I think we'll have the ability to make some money. I'm also hoping that he bumps our budget with another successful season. So I think that's a move that we're going to make. Just do it before we think too much about it. All right, so we pick up Anthony K. Now, who goes to the bullpen? Baz has got a lack of control. 24 home runs, 1.7, 3.8, 8.5. 1.7, 3.8. Okay, so Braxton Garrett doesn't strike out as many batters, doesn't walk as many. Home runs are just about even. His BABIP is at 274. Baz is at 291. What do his numbers look like if we make him a relief? 86. Let's go. I think it's going to be Baz unless Garrett's numbers really spike as a reliever. And they don't. All right, so it's going to be Baz. All right, so we'll make him a starter again. Baz, excuse me, probably isn't going to be thrilled with that, but that's okay. So we make him a reliever. We move Anthony K into the rotation. Is he ready to pitch? He is. Shane Baz is going to become 6, 7, 8, 10. Okay, I got 13 plus Wallace. That's fine. That's probably one pitcher more than I need, but Cesar Alvarez, I'm hanging on to. He really should have gone down by this point, but I'm hanging on to him just to be safe. So we'll make Baz a long relief. A specialist to try to get him a little more time. Baz is going to be long relief and an emergency starter. We're going to make Alvarez an unspecified. He's just going to sort of sit there. All right, so why is he listed as a... All right, so we just added a really solid pitcher to the back of our rotation. I don't think there's anything we really need to do. We called up Wilmer Flores to be that last bat off the bench. Gray Kessinger is getting a lot of playing time in the outfield as well because we don't really have a backup outfielder at this point. Is there anybody we could call up? I mean, we could call Garcia back up, but he hasn't been good. Dominguez wasn't very good in his cup of coffee. So I think we're going to run with this for the next month. Problem is, since Martinez can't really play, I mean, we need to just make him a DH. Just so I don't... Yeah, we just make him a DH. So we really do need to call up an outfielder, unless Wilmer Flores can play, the first, second, and third. Dominguez can only play center, though. Garcia can play left and right. I mean, Garcia's the obvious choice, but at the expense of whom? I mean, it makes more sense to send down a pitcher, but none of my pitchers are pitching badly enough to want to send them down. I can't send Alvarez down without losing him, and I don't want to lose him. I have to expose Flores to waivers. I think we're just going to stick with what we have, and we'll run with Kessinger in all three outfield positions, and he'll just do that. So again, we've pretty much wasted our budget, but that's fine. The money's there. We should be spending it. go ahead and offer contracts to our minor league free agents. JD Martinez continues to hit well. I mean, what does he want to come back? Okay, yeah, well, I'm glad we could help him make his way back with a solid season, but we're not bringing him back for that amount of money. I think that's it. What happens if we shop Nova? I mean, I was thinking I could use him as a piece to kind of the draft puzzle, or to the end of the season puzzle, so to speak. But I don't really know what I need. I mean, maybe if I can pick up that outfielder, kind of that guy who can play all three outfield positions, and give up Nova, I'd be okay with that. And both of these guys played for me. Gigliotti, I think Badu. Oh, they can both only play center. Oh, wow. That might be the move if there's nobody else. That seems like a really good deal to me. Rayleigh can play all three positions, but I don't want to. Yeah, I think that deal with Houston is the way to go. Setlock is injured, so he'll be on the DL, just like Nova. But we pick up another pitching prospect. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so Setlock is going to go on the 60-day DL. Cool. All right, so you guys made some trade deadline moves with me. You can see we currently sit 71 of 43, 6 games up on the Twins, 9 games up on the White Sox. Let's take a look at the offense and defense really quick. Offensively, Daz Cameron, really nice year for us. Already has 30 doubles, 16 home runs, 924 OPS, 4.3 WAR. Darian Perez has been great, 404 on base percentage, batting out of the leadoff spot, right at a 1,000 OPS for him. Gian Q continues to play well. Numbers are starting to slip a little bit. That on-base percentage is dropping a tad, which is where he generates a lot of his value. But he's got some power this year that he hasn't had in the past. Still has that speed, though. 32 stolen bases. Alec Thomas, 30 doubles already, 6 home runs, 60 RBIs, batting out of the 3 spot most of the season. We talked about JD Martinez already. Noel V. Marte continues to play good defense. Bo Naylor's picked it up quite a bit this past month. Lewin Diaz, 25 home runs, 81 knocked in, on pace for 36 and 115. Just a standard Lewin Diaz season. We talked about Caden Wallace's hot start pitching. Emilio Vargas, 14 and 2. I mean, he's got to be on the short list of Cy Young candidates this year. He's on pace to go 20 and 3. Anthony Kay and Shane Bieber. We mentioned Bieber got off to a bit of a slow start with us, but has picked it up as of late. Sean Cervantes continues to pitch really well as a rookie, 10 and 3, 3.40. And then our bullpen just continues to be absolutely lights out. Kozowski, Yap, Stewart, Conine, Wentz were the original bullpen. Lucchesi and Baz are in the bullpen now. And everybody's doing really well. So I'm very, very pleased with the way this season is going. So the next episode will be end of the season. We'll go over the end of the season stats, and we will hopefully play through the postseason. So a bit of a shorter episode this time, I know. But yeah, the whole point of this is to win it all. So we're I think on our way. We're looking good. So leave a like, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and until we talk again, everybody take care. Bye-bye.